We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Cheers, my boy. Hello, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds for your match review of the FA Cup 1-0 win against Harrogate Town at Elland Road. We'll get everyone's opinions, get your opinions in the chat. Danny's already in there. Smash a like and subscribe, please. Yep, please do. And let us know your thoughts on today's game. I'm joined today by Adam. Thrilled to be joined by Adam. A few of you might know his face from the subscriber show we had midweek. Absolute legend, came on, spoke for 10 minutes, which I didn't feel was enough. So give him another opportunity to come in here and waffle on about Leeds. How are you doing, Adam? How are you feeling, mate?
I'm brilliant, mate. Thank you. Thanks for having me back on. Really excited to be here and talk about Leeds. Love chatting Leeds. Yeah.
Well, that's what we're here to do, mate, and we'll get into it. The lineup, obviously, is where we'll start. But in general, were you excited for this game just off the bat, or what a game you felt was a bit of a hindrance, or are you an old romantic? Do you still like the FA Cup, and did this tie appeal to you beforehand?
I used to love the FA Cup. I used to love it on BBC One when it the final, and it come on like 11 a.m. or midday, and it would have a whole and you watch the coaches come into they watch the players leave the hotel and they come into Wembley Stadium and all that sort of stuff. I just love all that. I think it's all gone away so much with so many teams resting players and all sorts of things. So late in the day, I was out most of the day. Usually, if it's football Saturday, I'm watching all the football that's on. But I just don't. It doesn't leverage much at the moment. But it's just early rounds, and like we did, main thing is to get through for me.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. We've got bigger fish to fry, we know that, but it was a nice welcome break away from pressure for me. Although there were certain elements of that game where I felt a little bit like the lads will be under pressure because it weren't going the way they will have hoped for, I'm sure. But a few comments here, mate. Chris's evening, Matty. Danny talks about welcome, Adam. We love you, Leeds. Hi, Adam. Evening. Seasiders TV. Dan says, great to see Adam on the show. What I assume was class last time out. Yeah, it was.
I was definitely a man there as well. Yeah,
he was a last time out. He had a win on a lot. All Leeds out. He's corrected himself here. My thoughts on the game. Only highlight for me was Schmidt. I think I think he came out smelling rosy. To be fair, did really well this year, which we'll go into. But I feel like there were a few players that they did all right today. Hey up, Danny. We missed DJ today. Lordship got off comfortable, easy, no drama, no injuries, done enough, and gave some others a few valuable minutes. Yeah, I'm very much on the same as that, mate. Very much on the same as that. So, yeah, we'll get into the lineup then, mate. So, obviously, there were massive talking points. Even though it was an FA Cup game that, like you say, I'm more bothered about the league, as most of us are, Adam. This was probably the most excited I've been to see a lineup, even out with all the league games. I was really intrigued to see. Obviously, we knew Melier was getting dropped for this game, or rested, however you want to look at it. But there were a lot of talking points in terms of what are you going to play the kids. You know, my view, I said midweek, I think he'd go strong. I don't feel like he could mess around with this game like some people do with those early rounds at Cup. I did not expect to see the kids, but it was a very strong side. We've still given a few of those fringe players minutes, which I think were fair. You Schmidt, you Guilavogui. What were your general thoughts on the lineup beforehand, mate? Were you happy? Were the people on there who shouldn't have been in your eyes, or what?
I was going to text you on Friday yesterday and say, "Oh, this is the team I think it's going to be." I thought it might be an interesting discussion point. And then I was doing it, and I thought, he's going to rest a couple. Is Rodon, is DeBayo going to play? And I was like, I timed myself in knots by the time I finished, and I wasn't sure. But when I saw the team come out, I was really, really happy with it. Really happy, because I think it was just strong enough and gave everyone that might need minutes and all the fringe players, which we haven't actually got that many of, game time, rested it. So it was perfect for me. It gave enough respect to win the game and gave the fringe players game time, which was good.
Yeah, I agree, mate. What do you make of Joffrey not being in lineup? Do you reckon that means he's likely close to a move? Have you thought about that?
Do you know what? I didn't even consider he wasn't there. That's bad, isn't it? That's really. I'll start giving him. Yeah, no, like I just. I had him in my team. I had him in my team on Friday as well. And then I put. I don't know what I didn't in, but he's got. I presume he's going to get a move. It's fair. Do you know what? It's fair. Ullis Bamford might be in. Just let's wait to see how. Just let him go. It's not fair on him. He's not even getting in the matchday squad most of the time. Just let him go. So I presume that's what this means. He must do.
It's got to do, mate. I mean, he's been dropped from matchday squad a little bit lately with the injured players coming back and the empty room on bench. But today, 100%, he'd have probably started or at least got minutes off at bench. So for me, that's sort of probably solidifies the fact that he's moving away, which I'll be buzzing with. It's a strange one with Joffrey to actually like someone and be happy they're moving on. Sometimes when you love someone, you've got to let them go, aren't you, Adam? And I feel like we've got to do that with Joffrey. But yeah, that would have tell him, like I say, when I saw it line up, he was the first name I was looking for. Him and Schmidt were the two I were like, is Joffrey in? Because that means this. Is Schmidt going to be in because he needs to start playing? And we'll start there, mate. So he started at right back. I think he can play both sides. I think we all sort of think that, but predominantly maybe on the right hand side might be where his future lies. But he's got Bogle to contend with there, who is mainstay. How do you feel he performed today? And do you feel like him and Gnonto had? Because I thought that first half him and Gnonto looked all right together, even though Schmidt were probably the better of the two. He looked a very capable side, really.
I think he is very capable. I think, you know, all Falk's ever said to him, the only credit he's ever given him is he's a good attacking player. Like, he's good at going forward. And when you're a defender, I know modern fullbacks all attack and they, you know, but when you are able to defender, if you're fullback, you do have to defend. And the best thing your manager's got to say about you is you're a good attacker. Then that's not terrific. He was fine on the ball. I think he did a few things where he chased, tried to post things down or tried to nick a ball, and then he was never going to get it. Or he tried to win a header, and he was under the ball a few times, and he was never going to get the ball. And I think that's where Falk looks at him and goes, if you do that against a decent player, they're suddenly running in behind you. And, you know, because, you know, defence obviously last slide of defence, you know, there's nothing else to cover you. We leave one-on-ones all the time or over the pitch in defence. When we go forward a lot, we put a lot of players forward. So I can see why he's not starting. And and because of Falk's comment about him being good going forward, I was looking more at defensively.
Yeah.
And I think he didn't have a lot to do. Oh. But I don't think he didn't look that secure in what he did. He made a lot of the wrong decisions in the wrong moment. And a lot of that's experience. He's 24 now and he's been Leeds for half a season. So you think he should, so I can see, before the game, I thought, right, anyone that's coming in, I'm not going to write them off because they're not match sharp. They're not, and I think he grew into the game, he got more confident. But I think at the same time, I saw several gaps in his defensive game, because it was a case of, Guilavogui sometimes, I know you didn't ask about Guilavogui. Guilavogui tried to nick in sometimes, he was a bit late on it. And that made, you know, like that's just sharpness. Whereas Schmidt was never going to win certain balls and still went for them, still chased the player, and then he was miles out of position and then leave space in behind for breaking away. So I think he was okay, but I can see how it's not a starting option.
Yeah, I could see a lot of comments in that first half. I watch along with all of these bros, and I've seen a lot of comments, and they were all sort of like screaming from rooftops how brilliant Schmidt was. When I sort of thought he was playing well, but I don't feel like he was class like a lot of people say in that first half. I feel like he grew into the game and he was better second half, if I'm honest. But I think what you might see with Schmidt is obviously it's an hard one to say because you're playing a lesser opposition. So, you know, you might look at it and go, yeah, but he's not match sharp. But then the drop in the quality of his facing sort of levels off a little bit, maybe. Yeah. I do think he's naturally maybe more of a wing back, a bit like when we first got Firpo and we saw him so well going forward, but defensively not capable. He just needs more minutes, I think. But yeah, it was something I took from today that he looks a lot more capable going forward than he does at the back. But we saw that with Bogle early on in the season. It didn't take him long to sort of correct that. What I will say with Schmidt is he got through 90 minutes today, which were massive considering he's played nigh on none really for weeks and weeks now. And it could be like a new signing going into obviously this 2025. You know, he can play multiple positions, and it was really nice to see him play today. And I sort of thought he played on left. I think when he's come on a few times, he's played on left wing. He's played at right wing. He's played central. So I think he can cover maybe 4 or 5 different positions. But it was nice to see him. And we'll move swiftly onto Guilavogui because I thought first half he looked very shaky. A couple of wayward passes, a couple of passes that he put too much on it, and the player who was passing to just couldn't control it. He looked really out of sorts, I thought, and could have given a penalty away. I mean, depending on referee Adam, it'd have been soft, don't get me wrong, but I've seen them given.
I was coming on here, I made notes, and I was watching the match, I was making notes. I gave up after the first half. I thought this isn't fun at all. But I've got 12 minutes penalty. I've got 12 minutes penalty. That's it was so clumsy. If VAR was in play, I think it'd be a penalty. And I think you're absolutely right. I think he didn't look. He's not a centre back. He's never really been a centre back. He's played centre back previously, but he's always been a back three, I think.
Yeah.
So I think he's more of a DM covering play, because he's not that player that can play. He doesn't want to be one-on-one with players all the time. He doesn't want to. You see when the body shape, the ball's over top, he kept getting under the ball slightly again, and it's just the players out strengthening, out pacing him. And that's for League Two players. Like, these guys aren't professionals even, really, so or at all. So I think again it's really harsh because just you can't tell that these players haven't been playing. So to drop them in against anyone, it's really hard to be. I think Schmidt, by the way, I think he can build on this. I think he can get better. I think he will get better. Guilavogui, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he fits into it really, but
I don't like saying Adam as well because it's Guilavogui and he puts a smile on his face. Look at me, I smile when I say his name. I think that's because I get to end of his name and I've said it correctly. I feel quite happy that I've done that, but I do feel like he's done nothing but good stuff for Leeds off the pitch. The little cameos he's had is probably his role, would you not say? I mean, I don't think he's a starter. This probably showed it, regardless of the opposition. I think he's probably just a player to come on to see a game out. And I think for 10, 15 minutes max, it's probably ideal for him. But I do understand the reason he played in this game. I think I called him to start in this game. So it was nice to see. But sometimes it's nice to see just so you can sort of erase it from your memory in terms of, when it comes to naming a squad for a certain game, maybe I'll look at that now in future and go, yeah, maybe not to start. But I think for the role he's had up to now, he's been great value, and he hasn't had a mega poor game, but it's just one of them because of the level of opposition. Even the players that haven't played many minutes, I expected them to look a class above, and some of them looked okay, and they did. Others didn't quite live up to that, and I would say he definitely fell into that category. Did Guilavogui, unfortunately?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it came in at a time when we as a fan base, we needed someone to come in and just calm the nerves.
Yeah,
and almost that's the best purpose he served for us. We were just like, oh, okay, we've got this guy now. Oh, he's a French international. That's fine. We're sorted. He can play centre midfield. He can play defence. We didn't know how good he was, but we were all happy going, yeah, he's there. And we've seen it now. I mean, ultimately, he's fifth choice centre back. He's behind Voba, Strauch, Rodon, and Ampadu. And he'll occasionally come as DM, and that's about it. And he served the purpose today to give the other centre backs a bit of a rest. So actually, I mean, he's serving the purpose, but quality-wise, he's obviously not the player he was. And I think when you're not the player you were, you don't want to be a centre back. You don't want to be chasing. You don't want 40, 50 yards behind you. The player can run into all the time. When you're DM, that's obviously not going to happen. So I think he can be better covered for DM. Although now Griff's back, obviously, he probably won't do that much of that either. Okay. So I think it's great. He's a bench option, and as you say, experience. I mean, it's great. Like Gnonto scores, they run over to him. He's just brilliant. It's obviously a great person to have off the pitch.
100%. Like you say, unfortunately for him, he plays in a position where we're quite stacked as well. So he knows his role, and it's even probably further down now. Gruev's somehow miraculously back 6 weeks early. It's mental that they're back. Can you just answer this one, Danny, mate? Are you on any social media so people can follow you?
I'm not on Twitter anymore. I am on Blue Sky, and that's about it. But I have no idea what my tag is. So I can see it looking up on my phone, but that's not going to be great viewing for anyone. So I think it might be Adam LUFC, and it's my face. So, but I'm only on Blue Sky now. I'm also on Instagram, but Blue Sky is where I do my Leeds moment.
It's nice people are asking whether they go on Blue Sky.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. It's thanks a lot, Danny. Absolutely, it's lovely. No one likes me on there. I'm really bad at typing things. I just moan. So it's not. I'm much better speaking in person. So don't follow me if you.
Too right. So we're going to be well behind on comments, so we're going to end up reading these back to front because I'm going to have to. I don't want to skip any comment and go down to the bottom where everyone's talking about Guilavogui now. We'll crack on in order and we'll just get to them as we get to them, Adam. Because I like to get
If you need to pull me back in line, because I will just chat away. Just keep saying. Be quiet for a second.
It is what it is, pal. I haven't got work till Monday, so it's all right. Joseph, Paul today. What do you think?
I think Joseph did all the things that Joseph does quite well. And I think actually, and what I liked is he picked up a few times and he pushed forward a bit. He ran with it a little bit. And he was doing the things that Perot can't do very well. But obviously Perot can just put it in the back of the net, which is just, much better than anything. Because if Joseph just calmed down a little bit and go, played a Firmino role, I can have 3 assists today. If I just put my head up and rather than just shoot all this, he must have 5, 6, not pot shots, but shots where he actually could just line it up for someone. I think we just calmed down a little bit and passed. And he said he got 2 assists today. ran around a lot, harassed us. Everyone go, well, that's a really good performance. But it's really fine margin. Again, it's decision making, but obviously that is football. So, what did you make of it?
A bit like Chris says here, mate. Joseph trying a bit too hard again. Should have got 2 today, possibly an assist, but he makes the wrong decisions because he wants to impress and needs to do the basics.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he hit the post. He did all the things like you say that he does well. He always does that. He runs around. He's busy, but I would definitely say the line he tries too hard. And that sounds ridiculous because you want him to try too hard, you want him to try as hard as he possibly can. But sometimes it doesn't allow him to have that composure when he's finally got his opportunity.
Yeah.
They had 11 men behind ball. It was never really going to fall to him today. He's not that sort of poacher. Like sometimes Pirro only needs one, doesn't he? He can be out of a game. Pirro will still one will drop to him. With Joseph today, what probably let me down more than anything, well, that breakaway when he had the ball and put too much weight on that pass to Dan James. That let me down more than anything. I mean, you had like a 3-on-2 there. He had Firpo bombing up to his left, which were easier ball. And just that decision making, just that. And I know running at full speed, try to play the perfect pass in front of someone isn't as easy as sometimes it looks, but yeah, it's just that wrong decision, that little bit of quality that you want from a player. And, he's a young lad. It's his first proper season in men's football. He isn't the player I thought he was. I mean, honestly, Adam, after pre-season, I went in hard. I was like 20 goals this season. I really thought
me too.
Maybe that's on me. That's not on him. Maybe that's just on me. But I just didn't foresee, this season is sort of having. His numbers are poor. And yeah, I don't think he's had a good game in a while, Adam, if I'm honest. Like you say, he does what you expect of him, he does. But he needs to be doing more for me. And I just think he's not going to win that shirt back. We've seen him start and we've seen Pirro come and take the shirt back. I haven't once seen Joseph come off a bench and take his shirt back. I haven't once seen a game where they both played minutes and gone, Joseph starts next game. It's always Pirro's to lose for me, Adam.
I backed Joseph up until not long ago where people were saying Pirro, I was like, he doesn't do anything else. Yeah, but he scores. Well, he's scored not coming on the sub. But you're right, it's gone past that. The biggest thing that disappointed me today about Joseph was there's a couple of Gnonto broke for on the right, whatever minute it was, in the first half, swung across it. Joseph wasn't breaking his neck to get there and get on the end of it. And then Solomon put one in from the left and the defender missed it. And Joseph again, he could just, and that is, Pirro won't make those runs. He hasn't got the pace to make the runs. That's where he can make himself stand out, make those runs, get the ball, bust, but instead he's not there. He hasn't got that final bit of aggression. I think it was, I can't remember who said it, but in his press, he'll press up to a point and stop. Just keep going. What you stop is a press to win the ball, not just run over someone for the sake of it. And I think that tiny bit more aggression, and obviously, all round passing more, etc. But he's not doing himself any favours at all. He's really not.
No, Ian. Like I said, it went again today, Adam, where a few of these fringe players that they are all first teamers, to be fair. Like I said, didn't put the kids in, you didn't put your Crews and your Chambers in. They are first teamers. These players that play today are probably the ones that are out of form currently. Your Joseph, your Gnonto, your Ramazani, which is unfair because Ramazani's been injured. But they're probably the players who's been kept out by the form players. Obviously, your Pirro, your James, and your Solomon, with your Aronson as well. But I do feel like this was a massive chance today. I mean, Joseph will have been tucked to be in bed at 7 o'clock last night, dreaming of an hat-trick in FA Cup on BBC. Yeah. As he would as a striker against a League 2 opposition. And people will say if he would have done that, well, it's only Harrogate. But what are people saying now? That he didn't do that and it's only Harrogate. A few players there today, it was a massive opportunity there to attempt to win a shirt back, to really put pressure on those starting players. And I don't feel like some of them took it. I feel Ramazani had moments. I think Gnonto had moments, but the big one for me was Joseph. That was a massive opportunity there, especially if Pirro is carrying a little bit of a knock. And that, I don't think it's too bad. I think that why risk him for this one? But say it rolls into next weekend, Joseph probably hasn't done enough to pass a 90% fit of Pirro in my eyes. He really hasn't. It's a shame because on the other hand, Adam, I'm sort of swaying with the idea of does this maybe, again, as I said with those previous results, start of January, drop points from winning positions today, an unconvincing 1-0 win at home at Harrogate. Does that start a process in the mind of the boardroom of January? Maybe we're not as strong as we think. How do you feel on that front?
Go back one. You said about he doesn't pass 90% Pirro. I think Pirro, if it's 70%, would be exactly the same player. He doesn't run, he hasn't got any pace anyway. So it doesn't make so exactly. He's saved the moments player. But I really, we watched the pre-match with Fark. We're not going to sleep. What does that mean? Like, of course you're not going to sleep. like they got rid of Steinson, they got rid of what's his name, the guy that came from Dundee, anyway, he was the director of football supposedly, and obviously Falk's in control of transfers. I mean, can he really not be asking for better? Like if someone comes, I don't really get latter 15 million, 14 million, but if he gets offered a better striker and all round. Because neither of them, the striker that Fark likes, a Pookie, someone can actually come short, link play, but then always, 90% of the game is to run in behind, it's to get on the end of crosses, it's to. To go back one again, sorry, because I was thinking as you said it, we started. I know you haven't asked me this again, but we started with Solomon 10, Ramazani left, Gnonto right. Ramazani goes in, Gnonto comes in, and Smith doesn't overlap, Byron doesn't overlap. We had no one going wide at all for the first 30, 35 minutes. Then he put Solomon left, and Solomon started going the outside, and that's where the goal came from. So again, if Joseph wants to make the runs across front post, no, we weren't playing to that strength at all. No, because he is a tapping player, really. He's not he's not going to score goals from 20 yards. Same as Pirro. Both of them need the team set up around them to feed what they need them to do. And that's for Pirro is probably cutbacks and just any half chance in the box. And Joseph has to start across the front post, get to the byline and cutbacks. But yeah, we weren't doing it, and so we didn't do it for the first half hour. But I'll say when a couple did go in, he wasn't on the end of it. So I think so. Going back to your question. I don't know what the board's planning. I think nothing's going to happen to the last few days, like we discussed the other day. But whether they'll do anything, I don't think they'll do anything in line because I think we're well enough covered there to get by. Because we won't do 3 or 4 players, and if we could do the 1 or 2, I think it's probably a defender, and at the 10 firstly, then a defender. I think.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think that 10's becoming more evident. When you look at the Blackburn game at home, when you look at that today, obviously the Hull game scored in 3. That probably don't highlight any problems going forward. But when you combine all 3 games together, conceding 3 at Hull, that maybe signifies, maybe a defensive area that maybe needs touching up. And then obviously a 10 is something Farker definitely wanted with Roland Salai in the summer window. So I'm sort of that mindset. It's sort of the only thing keeping me sort of sane at the minute is I'm looking at it thinking the form seems to be a little bit shaky at the minute, but it's probably come at the right time because we've seen before, if that form would have continued we had in December right through now, we'd probably be sat here now, three decent victories, in New Year, and probably looking to say we're not going to sign anybody. So yeah, I know they've said it'll be a quiet window, which I agree it will be, but that's not to say they won't look at it towards back end, Adam. And I do feel like that 10 is definitely looking evident now. A game where you've seen him take Aronson out finally, which needed a rest. So like you say, Solomon started in there, they're sort of interchange a little bit. And I do think a winger can play at 10, but you've looked today, there was a bit of a lack of really good creativity in there. You've took your main 10 out, who I think sometimes doesn't show that quality anyway, although I think he's playing above a level I thought he could play at. I think his numbers are good. But then when you look underneath that, we've seen today, no one really grabbed that 10 shirt today. Solomon played his better football out on the left, as we know. That's what he does do. And like you say, the first time, one of the real times he took him on down the left and played with his width, he actually created the goal. I think his only real out-and-out winger really is James. I feel like the 3 that played today, they all sort of, like you say, they all sort of come in, which is great if your fullbacks are really going down line. But like you say, Schmidt wasn't really bombing down. Byram isn't capable really of that. He gives 110%, but you haven't really got that. Where if you had a Bogle and a Furpo, it'd probably work wonders today because they give that natural width. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see if these sort of last few games have started a process in the background, because for me it needs to, and it doesn't need to be massive changes or massive amounts of money spent. We've seen you can bring in likes of Tanaka and people out for next to now as long as your scouting's right. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, mate, because my worry is with January is everyone around us strengthening, like I said the other day, and whether you think their players they're signing better or not than what we've already got, but they're going to improve them, like a Ben Brereton, Diaz, a Chowdhury going to Sheffield United, that automatically improves them tenfold, and they're already up as arse as it is. So we just need to be careful, because it's gone from being such a great place to be to I don't want to be too down, because I'm actually happy with that today. I don't know what more you can expect. More goals, we got through at the end of the day and we're top at league. You can say more goals today, more points at top at league, but ultimately we're in 4th round at FA Cup. We've had these banana skins plenty of times before against worse opposition, and we're top at league, which a month ago, we were 5 points behind top of league. So
yeah,
it's not all doom and gloom. You can just sort of see at the minute, it just feels like momentum's gone and they need a spark to sort of reignite. And sometimes a couple of new players can do that, is sort of where I'm getting at.
yeah, no, 100%, of course. Like people say, oh, we'll rock the boat, rock the squad, and like, oh, if another 10 might upset Aronson. Well, yeah, but even if it's slightly up there, upset Aronson because he's got competition. The rest of the squad go great. We've got a better footballer to play with, not an Aronson, another good footballer in our squad to play with. I think ultimately we've got 5 attacking midfielders in Ramazani, Solomon, James, Aronson, Gnonto. That's they go 3 positions. So if you're looking for 2, like it only take a couple of injuries, like we've had before, by the way, like Solomon, James were at the same time, and at Norwich we took Ramazani and Gnonto because we're saving Sunderland, which is stupid, or was stupid. So a couple of injuries, and we've got no options for the bench at all. I know we can write off every position with a couple of injuries, but that's how it feels. Solomon's, James' fitness, Ramazani's new to the league, Gnonto's form, like he's never. And Aronson goes up and down, as you say. And Aronson isn't going to win you games by himself. He's just not. No. It's just not going to happen. I mean, Solomon's probably one of the only. I mean, James does it now. Ramazani could do it. Gnonto's out of form. So, of course, I think we absolutely need to. And I think there's an opportunity. In life, you get opportunities. And the January transfer window, it's difficult. No, it's not. It's an opportunity. So, and we're in a really strong position. Like, it's really unique where we are. Like, so. There's opportunities for us. There's opportunities for other clubs in that. Oh, we've got a player we want to get rid of. A player that isn't playing much for us. We can build up his value somewhere else. Yeah. Or alternatively, brilliantly, we can send him out on loan, and then they can commit to buy him if he goes up. So we can increase that price. And we go, well, we're paying. Someone's worth 10 million, but we pay 12 million if they go up. Who cares? No. I know that's not the way you can look at it as a business, but honestly, who cares? Like if you get the right player. The opportunities there for, and there's no other clubs. There's 4 clubs in the world with the opportunity we have in the transfer market in January, as in the promise, and we're in the best position of all of them because we're top. Right. The promise, if we go up, we will buy that player, and we don't mind paying a bit of a premium for that because you're doing us a bit of a favour by getting us now. So the opportunity is there for us. It's a difficult window, but actually we're in the strongest position of nearly any club in the world. So I agree. Why would you not do it?
Problem for me is with loan players, it's the game time this season. But I do feel like in terms of the deal of, if we go up, we'll sign him for X amount. You'd look at Leeds and say you'd put your money on Leeds being the one you'd guarantee to go up, which sounds mental to a lot of Leeds fans. But outside Leeds, Adam, everybody else thinks we're going up. Like that's a fact. It's only us that have that worry because it's our club, it's our love. But everybody else, bookies have us odds on to go up, even when we weren't top, Adam. So those deals will be easy to get done if we want them. It's more just the player coming now. Will it be promised game time? Definitely not promised. Will he have to work hard to get it? Potentially, because we know Farkas. I did a video the other night. I think it was last night, and the word I used is stubborn. One of his worst traits is stubbornness. But he's in charge of Leeds United. It's his job. It's for me best job in football. I'm going to say that because I'm biased, but he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and he's in a position where he can be stubborn. Sometimes if Millier starts against Sheffield Wednesday, mate, I'll be saying he's a right fucker. I will be, mate. I'll be fuming. But
I said he would on Wednesday, and I bet he does.
Yeah, I reckon so, mate. We'll before we go on to Darlow, mate, I just want to touch on Gnonto because Gnonto, we've got loads of comments about Gnonto. I've started a couple as well, but conversation about Gnonto. He looks very unhappy at the moment. A few people are saying, I don't know if you've heard about the Saudi links, or a lot of people saying, is he going? Isn't he going? I don't believe.
Let's play Football Manager then. How much would you sell him if Saudi come in with money in January? How much would you sell him for? What's he got to be?
It's an ardent value, mate. To be fair, because I think I valued him as high as 25-30 in past. I don't think he's nowhere near that now as a bench option on in Championship. Although that's down to form at the minute. I don't think he's a bench option in Championship. Only at Leeds United is he sitting on bench, if I'm honest. But honestly, mate, I could not tell you. 15 million, maybe. Is that?
You'd say if they come in 15 million, you'd take 15 million.
I wouldn't, but I reckon that's what they'd offer. I don't think that I wouldn't take it, no, but I just don't see why anyone would offer more. He's sort of, I'd say that's probably his level at the minute. What's he done for the last 18 months to value him higher than that? When you look at what some players go for, I know we'd want 25 probably plus, but I just think he's been valued at that before when he was playing well in Premier League for us. I feel like since then, I don't know. What do you think?
I think the club, if someone offered 25, they'd sell him. I don't think they'd sell him maybe 20. I don't sell him any less, but because at the moment he's 4th choice winger. So they probably, because Falk never tried him at 10, never looked to try him at 10, never an inkling to try him at 10. He's fourth choice winger. So if someone comes in 20 million for your fourth choice winger, to see, like, I think, I mean, it's lots of speculation on what, like you say, like people say about body language, doesn't look interesting, all that sort of stuff. And it's really hard. I always look at it and go, we don't know. We can obviously guess, but I think he thought he'd be the main man this season.
I believe,
and I think he was a little bit earlier in the season. That's something away from him. He didn't give the ball away. He had 2 assists. He was so good. Yeah. And I think that since then, obviously he's been out of the team. I think he just does. I mean, he's such a good footballer. He's proved it in the Premier League, but well, to a point, he's had good games at least. But he's just not doing it. So obviously it's a slight attitude thing. I don't think it's necessarily saying he's got a bad attitude, but I think there's obviously something wrong with how he feels about how he's been treated, or just he's just not the main man. I think he just doesn't like it. He doesn't like his cameos. He's not a guy. Yeah, certainly. But because I don't think he's the guy that's going to put his socks up and go, right, I'm going to prove a point. I don't think he's going to do it. Right. And that's the biggest issue we have. Because he's in his second fiddle or third fiddle, fourth, the rest of the season. So, and if he's not going to get, when he gets his chances, go, right, I'm going to grab it, which I don't think he will. I've not seen anything to suggest that. No. Then he's not going to get any better. It's not going to help us. And he's just going to be fourth choice for the rest of the season. This is injuries. And even if there's injuries, he'll get a chance maybe. And he'll still think, I'm only in it because there's injuries. So I'll be out once they're back in. So I don't know. I think he's such a good footballer. I mean, in theory, he's the Italian international. He should be our best player, but he's not. And obviously, if he's not, it's not down to ability. So what else can it be other than not an attitude problem? Well, I wouldn't. Well, it is a problem, but I wouldn't say that in the sort of the properly everyone known way necessarily. I'd say in a way that actually, he just wants to be the main man. He's got a young lad with an ego. I think you're right. That's probably the biggest issue he has.
Yeah, no, mate, I agree, mate. I mean, if you compare him attitude-wise to a Dan James, you look at that, you know what you're going to get off Dan James, whether you think he's as good as he has been recently in general or not. I think Gnonto's always going to have that. You know what it is? I saw Darren on the Leeds Bros after the game tonight saying, you feel like you can never sort of settle and trust that Gnonto's not going to kick up a fuss and leave again after all that debacle. And I sort of, I listened to his point. I sort of agree to it to an element. It's like we accepted him back. I don't feel like anyone really fell in love with Willie Gnonto again after that. I feel like he's just sort of treading water, really, trying to pick up form until he moves on eventually. And I sort of agree with that to a point. I always feel like when January window comes round, I expect to hear something. We haven't so far, but that's probably just down to his form, if I'm honest. I mean, if he were playing well,
yeah,
and he had a bit of noise, would we have a problem potentially? Because we've seen it before. I don't want to put no hate on him because I know there's a player there, and I haven't heard of any unrest there. Behind the scenes of any player this year, it's gone really well considering there is an element of a few players in there who are in Charlie Cresswell's mould, as in we've seen Schmidt. There's a fair few players. Guilavogui don't get many minutes. Some of these kids like Crew probably thought he'd get minutes in getting any. I haven't heard of anyone kicking off, which has been brilliant. But yeah, with Gnonto, I do definitely agree with that. I feel like he expected to be main man after Cree left, and it's just not happened for him, and he's gone from starting to being, honestly, definitely fourth choice. 1,000,000% is fourth choice. Like Solomon and James are the best 2 wingers in division for me. Solomon's probably just edged it on James now for current form as being the main man for Leeds, the main man in the league. And that showed again tonight, didn't it, with Solomon? I mean, I've got a few comments here. Solomon man at match. Well, the actual man at match on BBC went to their left back, didn't he? I don't know if you saw that. Which I felt were just, giving them something, to be honest, because I don't really see
it's patronising, really, isn't it? Like
it really was, mate. It really was. You tried hard trophy, really, wasn't it? But Solomon was outstanding again. He was. It's one of them where he should look a cut above, but just because you should, don't mean you will. And at least he delivered tonight. He was one of the players who his level didn't drop to the opposition, and it's really hard to do that because naturally, how do Leeds get up for a game against Harrogate? Harrogate are naturally going to get up for it. It's just last night they'll have been buzzing for it. It's not. It's not even a bad quality really. It's just so hard to get up for something. Like me as a fan, I go to every home game. When the tickets came out for this, I weren't that bothered.
Exactly.
And I love going to Elland Road. It's my favourite thing to do. And then I scrambled because I realised I really wanted to go and I couldn't get one. But it'll be the same for a player. But Solomon's level didn't drop tonight.
No,
he hit the bar.
I mean,
he did
he's so talented, isn't he? And it's taken him a while to get back into it. but you know, like his pedigree, his Champions League, and obviously he's lost a little bit of pace, but he's all still upstairs. You know, he's still intelligent, he still understands how to slow it down and just drive past someone.
Yeah.
And like they're not there. And it's like the guy tonight. He drove past over 6 yards, and he gave the guy a yard. He was 4 yards passing by the time he got to the ball. This guy's like, oh, he's gone. You know, he's still got that burst of pace. And the biggest thing as well, of course, is his end product is a creative wide player. He's he's much better than any other of our wide players. Every time he gets in a decent position, he invariably delivers because he is a cut above. He just is.
Yeah, he is. Is he a player you would like us to sign in the summer, or do you think if and when we get to Premier League, we aren't doing all this again where it's a Ben White situation? Do you think there's better players we could go get? Because I know a lot of people don't like to get attached to players because it's side before self, it's Leeds United. But I won't like you. I'm getting a little bit attached to Gnonto and Solomon, just a tad. and there's a long way to go yet, mate. There's a long way still. To become massive, you know.
Do you know when we went up last time? Because I love change. And I think they're going to get Ben White. I thought, well, Ben White's really good, but can he step up to Premier League? It's an unknown. I thought if we can go and get a player we know is Premier League quality, because 30 million, we bid 30 million for him, didn't we? And that's so much money. And we ended up with obviously Llorente and Koch for the same money, which was terrible. But I mean, and now I do feel the same with Solomon, that if he's going to, I don't know what it would cost from Spurs. Daniel Levy, anything could happen. But if he's going to be, if he's 20 million, can we do better for 20 million? Potentially, but will he still be a decent Premier? Is he still a sort of 12th to 17th Premier League player? Yeah, he is. I think so. I think he'll make a difference. So I think we will. I think obviously, I mean, if we do buy him, that's our 4 wingers for the Premier League as well. Exactly, we've got now.
Yeah,
is that okay? That's the bigger question, I suppose. Because someone's going, so do we go? Or do we need to step up? It's like saying, do we want Rothwell? Because that's then our 4 centre midfielders probably for Premier League. And Purdue, Tanaka, and Rothwell. Is that good enough? Sometimes, we definitely should buy Rothwell. I think we need that 4th one to be better. Again, we've got to spend 200 million. We got probably under 50 million summer. We've got to spend a fortune. And
there needs to be 5 or 6 players, don't there, mate? I mean, honestly, Adam, I get your point. I aren't massively bothered about the numbers because of the Tanaka and that, but they're going to have to buy 5 or 6, which can easily amount to that, depending what they get. I mean, they've got to make a couple of statement signings. There's got to be a fair few million chucked in, you'd imagine. But I had to ask if it's under that. But you want to go into the season confident, and I mean, if you sign players for 3-4 million like a Tanaka, until the play, you don't know what you're getting really. Then you will go in worried, but you know. Whereas if you see some pound notes put down, you tend to think, oh, we've got a player here, as opposed to. But it does show you don't have to spend big. But I do agree it needs a lot of surgery. Does this side? I think they've got a really good foundation to build on. But I mean, if you go through side and you go, as wingers are okay, as midfielders are okay, you go through side eventually and go, well, where we're buying players then? So at some point they are going to have to make a level up, like you say, maybe buy a fourth winger who's maybe better than Solomon, buy a 4th midfielder who's better than Rothwell, like you say, and then defence probably needs a couple as well, left back, centre half, and a goalkeeper. So I think, if I'm honest, going off topic, I think striker, 10, left back, midfielder, winger. Honestly, 7. You go through and I'm like, it's about 7 players. It's almost a first 11 again, mate. And
a couple of subs,
it's crazy, mate.
The other 21s, new manager. No, and that is it. And it's because it's all unknowns. We just don't know if any of our players really going to step up and consistently perform. And it's everything. Going up being a yo-yo club's no good to you. You need to, we need to go up and we need to stay there. And you can't guarantee it, but you've got to buy enough players. And you're right, you've probably got to buy at least 5 starters. At least 5. Like pros and sub in the Premier League's quite handy. Coming on 80 minutes. James sort of his game's so simple. Push it past the wing and cross it. Or push past the fullback and cross it. Or running behind them. That actually it can translate to Premier League quite easily. Actually, do you want to start in every game in the Premier League and rely on him to give 15 goals, assists? Well, I don't know. So you can go through the whole team like that, can't you? Go, well, Ampadu's good enough, definitely. Well, okay, probably. If Strout's good enough, Strout's quite slow. If we're going to play it, we can play lower. We play 3 at the back. It's going to be quite, is he going to be malleable? Is he going to change things? He's going to, he's going to actually, Rodon's a brilliant one-on-one defender in the championship. Sonny's got Haaland. He'll just get, I mean, Haaland's actually leaves a bit silly, but but there's lots of good. Watkins, there's lots of good. Isaac, it's horrible. you know, you go in the Premier League and you sit and go, right, oh, you look at the opposition, it's disgusting. It's all so good. They're so good.
Really,
but you haven't got a push. You only need to win 7 games. So that's the...
Yeah, no, that is a bonus and it's definitely achievable. But I mean, when you look at it, it's one of them where you can get sort of sidetracked by how well you're doing in Championship, winning every week. Like I go to work most Monday mornings buzzing, you know, because we win. And then you have a few weeks off and you start in Premier League and you go from winning that momentum to probably losing most weeks, as we're seeing from the teams last season. You know, those 3 really good sides went up, deservedly so to a degree, and the smack bottom of the league, aren't they? And probably going to come straight back down. So it's very difficult, and I don't think you can rest on your laurels. You've got to spend the money. I think they've got to make a couple in January to solidify going up, and then, like you say, when they go up again, they've got to really nail it in summer. And it's probably the biggest summer in clubs' recent times because so much rides on us, you know, staying up that year. You know, the stadium development, all the backers of the 49ers, they've got a nice return to come on their investment. I'm sure there'll be a lot of pressure there for. So that's why I think Farke won't have a long leash for this one. Let me just bring this up. I obviously had a comment earlier as well. This is the Adam from the stream the other night. Yeah, I've had some really good comments in here tonight, mate, saying, is that the Adam who done really well the other night?
It's the Adam, yeah.
And then this here is Stevie, who also came on. Really give us some good content. Was not happy about Farke when he's put a comment on tonight. Just got home, pal. Said it the other night. Farke, again, waited until a League Two manager has made subs. It's not good enough again. I froze my nuts off. We should be putting 10 past them. And you know what it is? You're a really passionate fan, Stevie. I loved you coming on show the night. You're always welcome whenever I do a subscriber show. Love to have you on again. I can't disagree with you where you're saying that, mate. You were at the game tonight, like I say, you froze your knackers off, expecting to be entertained, and it was a tough game. I'm always going to, you know, try and verge on the side of optimism because it's just the way I am as a person. I weren't there freezing my knackers off. I usually am. But it's one of them where we're through. We've got some fringe players playing, minutes in legs of some people that haven't played. You know, it's another win. It keeps that momentum going. We haven't lost, which we've lost plenty of times against worse opposition than that tonight. And, you know, ultimately we're top of the league by a point. It's not, you know, I know you don't think that's good enough, and scraping by against Harrogate isn't good enough. But ultimately we are winning these games and we are top of the league. So I'm always going to bring it back to that. But 100%, I understand your frustration there. We didn't set the world alight. And when you look at the quality difference between us and Harrogate tonight, Adam, there's a lot of, I can make a lot out of what he's saying there. You know, we should be putting 5s and 6s past these, but it's not the Leeds way. Is it Farke's fault? Is it the players dropping off? Either way, he's got a point. I do understand where he's coming from. We should be doing better, but I didn't expect us today to run away with it. I just didn't expect it. It's not the Leeds way. We don't embarrass.
It's crazy to say that it's not the Leeds. It's not the Leeds way to score lots of goals. It's not. It's absolutely not.
It's not. Excuse because there's reasons behind it, like Farke's tactics, Farke's subs. Whether you agree he's a good manager or not, you know, there's reasons behind it. It's not just a Leeds thing. You know, the way he sets us up. The way I just think, if I'm honest, a couple of players today who have been out of form didn't stand up and be counted. And, you know, when you've got a 9 who isn't looking like he's going to score a goal, even with an open net minute, you know, he's really struggling to find any form and get that clinical edge in front of goal. You know, we swapped that 10 round. For me, we looked a little bit disjointed today. You could see there were players in there that haven't played football. But what were they supposed to do? You know, he went at a decent strength. I mean, if we had put the kids out today, Adam, and got a 1-0, probably no one would have said no. Probably by the strength of the lineup, it probably has made this look like a bit of a bad game for Leeds United. But in that lineup, there were some players that haven't played minutes. Your Guilavogui, your Schmidt, that, you know, if they're not quite at it, you know, you Joseph out of form, your Gnonto out of form. Some of these players, if they're not quite at it, it can look really disjointed. And just because it looks good on paper, putting onto a pitch when you've got players in partnerships that haven't, you know, Schmidt and Gnonto, I thought they did okay today. It's a partnership we've not seen before. So it felt like a bit of a training exercise, trying to find what worked. We knew they were going to sit back. I understand his frustration, but sometimes you've just got to get the win and move on.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know what? About 25 minutes in, I thought of Stevie. I thought he's going to be sitting there absolutely fuming with us. We're just moving the ball forward across the pitch in front of Harrogate. He's going to be on the right go. But do you know what? In the first half hour, I think you can pin on Farke in terms of the basis of the best tactical breakdown I've got is that we had Solomon 10, Ramazani, Gnonto, and we didn't do that once. We didn't even try. The fullbacks didn't go round. We didn't try and go round. We didn't try and go wide. So you're not trying to. So we weren't trying. So and we just played it across the front of them. We had no one trying to go round them and run wide. So if you're not doing that, how are we trying to score in the first half hour? What were we doing? Like just trying to hope that when they were out of position on a pass, or like it was very. I know we had some half chances and stuff like that, but in general, like you got to have a pattern to your attack and what you're trying to do. So when Dan James is on the pitch, we make the pattern. Solomon comes in, Aaron's plays 10, James plays wide, Bogle tucks in, runs inside him, almost makes another 10 almost sometimes.
Yeah.
But then when James isn't on the pitch, why doesn't he tell one that why does he play Ramazani wide right? Why don't go you do what James? Why do we change everything? Because James isn't playing. That what is that? What is it? Oh, personnel. We change everything. So I didn't go. How is Fark set us up to try and score this? Because Rothwell and Ampadu aren't allowed within 10 yards of the box. That's not. Our rest defense is the rest defense all tactic. Our two centre backs and two DMs. They're never allowed to go forward. They never burst into the box. Any of them. The two DMs. They never burst the box ever. So they've always got to be, in case we lose it, they've got to be the first there to try and win it back, and then the centre backs covering. So so how are we trying to score in the first half out? Now, neither of us are taxpayers, obviously, not obviously, you might be, but I'm not. But how are we trying to score? Like, what was the game plan? Like, what's the patterns we're trying to form here? And why has it changed because James isn't playing? That just doesn't make any sense to me at all. That's really simple. And I mean, Fark might say, well, I told Schmidt to bomb on down the right. Well, keep telling him then, make him do it. Byron went down the right a few times, but he always has to come back because he has to do it on his right foot. So, exactly. And Ramazan is the same left and Gnonto cuts in. So I didn't. After that, though, I think that's on the players. And I mean, Pep once said, didn't he? De Bruyne come on, they're trying to break Newcastle down. De Bruyne comes to chip to through with a 1-1-0, wherever it was. And he said, he said, I can do whatever I can. But it's everything is down to quality of players. And Pep said it himself. But obviously, I mean, that's obviously not quite true, but it's obviously a massive point. And the rest of the game was set up fine. And the quality was Solomon pushed it past and then didn't just smash it across. He floated into perfect area. Ramazan's there to head it in. And that's the quality of the players. The quality of Solomon won us the game. And no one else had that quality throughout the whole game.
100%. And we've seen games like that this season, mate. And I'm sure we'll see games like that again. Luckily we've got Solomon. I think we had a few more star players last season. Somerville, Rutter. This season it sort of sprinkled across the side. But Solomon's starting to become that star player, that player who maybe can take a game by a scruff of the neck and get us a win. Tom says if we don't sign anyone in the window, we've got Solly on a perm. Would you be happy? No, because it doesn't really affect us this season, does it? Well, I'd love to get him on. I'd love to have him on a perm for next season, but no, I mean, we definitely need some players this window, mate. 100%. The big talking point midweek, mate, was obviously the goalkeeper after the Hull game. All week it's been Meslier, Darlow. Meslier is going to be back for Wednesday game. We don't know yet. We'll have to see. How did you feel? I mean, first of all, were you surprised to see Meslier on the bench, or did you expect that? Because didn't. You expected him on the bench, did you?
No, I expected him not on the bench. I didn't know why he was on the bench. I didn't
understand if you're taking him out. Get rid of that pressure. I don't get why he had to be at Elland Road at all today. Sit Cairns on bench, knowing that likelihood he isn't going to have to come on. But could you imagine a situation where there's an injury at Darlow and he's having to warm up and get ready to come on, or he goes to a penalty shootout?
Everyone's holding the hedge, he's warming up.
It's crazy. I mean, I just don't understand why he was there. I mean, luckily it didn't happen, and there were no reason for him to hit the grass, but it could have happened, and I found that bizarre when you're taking him out. But I think the fact he were on the bench probably just signifies that he probably starts against Wednesday. But anyway, how do you feel like Darlow got on?
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple of shaky moments. I think as a keeper, like the whole Matt Sharp thing I was giving everyone earlier, I think as a keeper, that doesn't really quite stand up. You're not got sprint around. You've not got your first touch and your weight of pass particularly.
Yeah,
I think he did okay. I don't think he looks any more secure or worse than Meslier does. But right now, it doesn't. He didn't make a massive. He caught. There was a floated ball and he caught it like early on. I thought, he's caught it. He's not just patted it down for the opposition. That's good.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
Oh, there we go. That's better straight away. I know it was there, not whatever. But it was enough for me that he didn't make a massive F up, and so it's fine. Like, he should start the next game. I think it's that. I mean, it's the whole Welsh thing as well. The whole road. Anthony, they must all be saying it. I mean, if Fark went to Anthony, will he say? Does he trust him? Not trust him? That might have a massive bearing on it. I mean, Fark obviously knows what he's saying, but he did enough to start this game for me. I think he was secure enough. I think he seemed secure in himself. He seemed confident enough what he was doing as well. So
yeah,
caught a couple.
The aura, he felt.
He's
He didn't look nervous. The aura of him, I think, when you looked at him on the pitch, you looked at him in tunnel, he looked like he were comfortable with that role, which he should be. You know, he's a seasoned pro. He's played in Prem for Newcastle. He's got promotions, hasn't he, from this division? I feel like people forget that sometimes. He had a couple of shaky moments in past games.
You just described Melio, by the way. He's played game very well.
I did, mate. Yeah, I did. Which, I should have done that. But yeah, it's one of them where I'm kind of glad he had a bit to do, if you know what I mean. I mean, you weren't peppered by any stretch. You know, he made a good save when their striker hit it first time. He took his shot really well, but it's probably a save he should be saving. I don't want to go down the road of because he's done okay. Everything he's done is brilliant, because I do that a lot with Melio. Melio only has to make a basic save, and I sort of, he's made a good save. A lot of time, it's just a standard save that most keepers make that we just don't see. But I do like what I saw from him today. I do. I'd love to see him have a bit more of a run, because it's an ardent to gauge is this for any player, and especially the keeper, because like you said, he didn't have loads to do, but there were a couple of moments I really like that. There were a ball in second half that got played over top, and it wasn't as clear cut as the Hull one for their first goal, but it got played over top, and we saw on the Hull one, Melier sort of hesitates, stops, and then keeps going. What I like about Darlow in the couple of opportunities where that sort of happened is he's had to come out. He comes for it. He doesn't sort of hesitate. But if he goes for it, he goes for it, and he times that challenge really well. And if he misses it, it's a penalty and probably a red card. But he gets the ball, and you know that probably comes from just not hesitating at that split second, because you do split second and everything changes, and you bring the player down, he knocks it around you, scores a goal. And I really like that about him when he made the moments to come out to try and catch, or come out to try and stop the player going through one goal. He made his mind up and he stuck with it, and I feel like that's a bit of experience there. You know, just backs himself a little bit more than probably Melier doesn't.
Yeah, agreed. He's I think he looks really secure. I think even when he picks the ball up and just roll it someone, it's not he says auras very, it's a weird silly thing to say, but his aura just looks so calm.
Yeah, it does.
I also am so fed up of watching other teams' games, other matches, Premier League, Championship, whatever, and go, keeper makes a half decent save and going, oh, Melier would let that in. Oh, Melier, he wouldn't have saved that. Because he doesn't make saves. The stats say he makes hardly any saves. So I can't see how it's even debate. If Darlow's half decent and say he looks secure enough, confident enough, which is massive, I think, probably the main point today, couple of takes, I think he just got to. And even though Fark said all that, it was a really weird press conference, because he actually bothered. No one even asked him. He started talking about old mistakes, Sunderland, and he started talking about, and I think he could have done better in this game. I was like, well, no one even asked you that. Why are you talking about that? Like, what are you getting at? Should it be like, we made a mistake, we're going to go forward, or how? But then he praised him a little bit. But we are top of the league. We didn't really praise him. We praised the situation. We are top of the league. So he didn't really go his way to praise Melier particularly. He praised the situation of Leeds and criticised his past performances. Now, if that's, I mean, that says, even though he said, because he didn't say he's going to start in this game, did he? He still said he's my number one. But it wouldn't surprise me if he gets next Saturday and starts Darlow. It really wouldn't surprise me. I can't sit and wait for Melier's next mistake, and then we have the same debate when he gives away X amount of points in 3 games time. I can't be bothered. Like, why are we waiting for that? Just do something about it. We've got a chance again.
Adam, it's a really fragile thing to do, because imagine if it goes back with Melier, and as we know, Melier can go 10 games, 20 games, 30 games without an absolute howler. He can have poor shaky moments, but for me, he's good for another 1 or 2 of these howlers that cost us points for the rest of this season. He's good for that, but he could go 5-6 games without one. The January window closes. Darlow's only had this game. He's back to be number 2 next week. And then Melier makes a howler mid-March. And then you've got to turn to Darlow and say, come on then, mate, you'll go again. It's just not a good message to players, is it? That, you can't pick him up and drop him like that. So for me, that's my worry, that it goes with him. The window shuts, and then there's another howler, and he's asking Darlow to come back in a few months' time, when he's been criticised as Darlow for not. I don't know where it comes from, but I've heard people say he isn't pushing Melier. He doesn't look like he wants to play football. There's been a lot of this narrative about him that, he's happy with his feet up. I'm not too sure that you can really say that with him. There's no real proof to back that up. But I tell you what, if he gets dropped again to number 2 after today, which, it isn't a good barometer on whether he played well or not, but he definitely do any mistakes. I think if Melier plays today, we potentially concede one of these chances, if I'm honest. In my opinion, there's no truth to that, but I think if that happens, mate, and that window closes and we haven't strengthened and it picks Mezes number one, you're asking for trouble there. It just sends out such a bad message for morale for certain players, Adam.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't see how he doesn't go with Darlow, to be honest. I know I said on Wednesday I think he'd go Messi, and I think he might still, but I think he's completely the wrong message. I think this guy keeps messing up. He's cost us so many obvious points, and that, you know, I mean, if he sticks to Meslier now, I mean, he'll just go, I'm not making a decision. Then it's my number one. That's, you know, so, well, because he's so stuck in his ways, Met Fark, isn't he? It wouldn't, the problem is, it wouldn't surprise any of us if he stuck with Meslier, and then we'd all be shocked if Meslier made no mistakes in the next 3-4 games. So that, I mean, the stats are all there. It's all down. He fails the eye test and he fails on the stats test. Now, why would you? It's really like, it's all about performance. That's football. You know, like, why on earth would you back him? The only reason you back him is if Darlow isn't good enough. That's the only reason to back Meslier. If Darlow isn't good enough, get a keeper. Just get one. Just get an experienced keeper. You know, Joe Donovan wrote something up the other day about I think out of the last X amount of pro clubs that no one's changed their first team keeper halfway through the season. None of them had Meslier.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we did, but other than that, but you know, like, he keeps making mistakes. He's cost us points. We should be 5, 6, 7 clear. It's really obvious, and we are where we are. And you got and this whole feet up with Darlow. He's an international number one. I don't think he's so. If he's still doing that, he's still got a hunger for that. He's got a hunger to play for Leeds United.
He has, and he's got a couple of man of matches performances for Wales as well. So he's in form when he plays for Wales, and you think he's getting these man of match performances, playing well for his country, coming in cold from not playing football at Leeds. Imagine what it'd be like with a run of games.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, looking at the comments here, a lot of people just think he's coming straight back in his mez. The fact that he were number 2 today, I think he might be, you know, I tell you what, he's a braver man than me as Daniel Farke to start him. It's at Elland Road as well, to start Meslier next week, and he is a brave man.
Well, you've only got to look at his hairstyle, see how brave he is. But he
love that, Adam. Love that.
Sorry, but he's I mean, he's awful, isn't it? But it's, I mean, no one else has got hair like that. I don't know where he's come up with that idea. Anyway, I don't know where we're going, but I don't know why you'd start him. It's not even bravery, it's stupidity. It's being stubborn. It's just doing it. It's just going, oh, he's my nut. It doesn't make any. Everything points towards a change. Everything, absolutely everything.
Apart from,
and if Darlow's not good enough, get another keeper. It's really simple.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I do agree with that. Darlow better than the guy without hand-eye coordination. 100%.
He shouted that as well.
Hey, Sean, easy peasy. Why are you surprised? I've been saying for ages Farke will get us up, but struggle in the Prem. Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. I've had a few comments after my video the other day, you know, messages and stuff on YouTube, and I even had someone suggest I will maybe Farke out because I sort of highlighted all Farke's faults, all the things that annoy me about Farke. He's got plenty of them, but I still back him to get us up, and I still live in a world where you deserve a crack at something when you've done well and you've got them up. And I just think it's craziness that some people still don't like him, and I get easy peasy, you know. I say easy peasy. Stevie, even though he says that, I thought Mike Darlow was commanding in the box. He got tested. Yeah, he did, mate. He did really well. I was happy with him today. But yeah, like, it's hard, isn't it? Because you've got Stevie who goes home and away, spends his money, and you know he's there watching. He knows what he's talking about. It's just his interpretation of the game might be slightly different to how we see it. But depending what side of the fence you're on, you might do that. You know, 1-0 against Harrogate. They didn't test us too much. You know, we were the better side, control possession, had plenty of shots. But if you're feeling negative towards Farke, it's an easy game to watch and go, well, we only beat them 1-0 and they've got League 2 players. We should be doing more. But if you're on the Farke side, you tend to look at it and go, well, we were a better side. It were comfortable. Fringe players played. We're through next round. We move on. Like, just depends what side you're on. So what he's saying is, I can definitely see what he's saying. You know, 100%, we should be putting more past these. And on another day, if we were to play him again in a few weeks, it may be 5 or 6. You know, today the way we set up, I just feel like we had a few players in there that were out of form and a few players there who needed minutes in legs, and that were probably more important to Farke than getting a 5 or 6. We know Farke isn't bothered for the goals. He isn't arsed for putting 4s and 5s past teams. He's not into that sort of game. He's all about control. And did he get it? Yes. Were there a couple of hairy moments? Yes. But it made for a good tie in terms of giving them something to shout about. It weren't a good spectacle, no, but it had a bit of jeopardy towards the end, which I always talk about on my channel. I quite enjoy the nervous side of the game. I quite enjoy watching it, thinking, "Ooh, here we go." And even though it's my team, I quite like that they give it a bit, and their keepers coming up at end with still a chance. Those fans have come to Elland Road. A lot of them support both clubs, I'm sure. But to be at Elland Road, they took half at South Stand, our main stand for Norwich. Took half of that. Fair play to them,
Brilliant,
I'm sort of glad we didn't put 5 or 6 past them, because sometimes you learn fuck all from a 5 or 6 win, mate.
No, 100%, absolutely. And as you say, we were never going to win 5 or 6. Absolutely. The whole Fark out thing, I think. And you say about you saying the other day about pointing out where Fark. We've all got gripes about managers. We've all got, we all moaned about Bielsa certain subs or why start inside of others, start Gelhard, not Gelhard, and all those sort of things. But we'll all have gripes. But ultimately, as you say, we can see that Fark. We can't change it now. There's no way of changing now. And I think, if you look at his record, he should take us up. You look at his record in the Prem, you go, oh, that's, if you start going just on record. But ultimately, when we bought Ampadu for 7 million, that was his record transfer in English football. And he'd been in the Premier League twice with Norwich. Wow. I mean, that's tough, isn't it? Like that, that's not playing a fair, that, you got your hands tied there. You can't really judge him on what he did at Norwich. But I think we can all see, like I said the other day as well, where he's imbalanced in terms of helping the team, making subs at the right time. And it's not, we don't all claim to be experts, but I think some things are so obvious. Some people are knackered, some things, people on bed, whatever. And I think that's where he will fall short, because he's going to have to be, because, you come up against some obviously really better players. When Fark hasn't got the best, invariably Fark has the best team in 99% of matches, if not all of them in the league.
Yeah, he does.
So that so he's got a really good hand dealt to him. Obviously, you lose some games in the Championship. So I was watching QPR Watford the other day. I thought we've really, everyone's just going around elbowing each other. They're jumping, just massive lumps. We're really good not to get involved in this most of the time. We are a really good side. Cool. Since then, we drew 2 games. I thought, now we got stuck. Blackburn suck us into it a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
But actually, whatever Fark does sets us up in a way that we don't get involved in that, which is perfect. But I just think in the longer run, I think, as I said the other day, he won't last 10 games in the Prem, I don't think. And it wouldn't surprise me if they did get rid of him in summer. And I think you're absolutely right. Most people go, well, that's not really fair. But as soon as that new guy comes in, wins a few pre-season games, and he talks in a foreign language, well, great. It could be English.
Oh, yeah.
But, we go, we'll very quickly forget it as well. But I think it's right, he has a fair crack of it.
Yeah,
at the same time, same as they did with O'Neill at Bournemouth, they brought Iriola in. They just went, right, there's a great quality manager that's going to up our game available. O'Neill's doing okay, but we want to step up here. We're just going to do it. And that's life. And by the way, Fark would, he'd be fuming, but he wouldn't understand. He should understand it.
He wouldn't understand, mate. He wouldn't understand. But no, it's a great point, to be fair, mate. Really good point. I haven't really thought about that. But Chris has a good point here about Darlow. Darlow with Bogle, Road on Strout, Firpo in front of him, he won't be needed for more than doing the basics till the end of the season. Yeah, I agree with that, mate. You got to think, if we're looking at Darlow today, we think he did okay with not a patched up side, but a different side. It's not the starting side, that is it, that it would have in front of him. Like I say, Guilavogui filling in at centre half at times as well, and Schmidt Schmidt right back. So it'd be Bogle. Maybe Firpo left back, and then obviously Strauch and Road. And it's going to be a lot more solid, even the midfield pairing. You'd have Tanaka in there and Ampadu, and it'll just be a lot more solid. So you're probably going to have less to do against better opposition than he probably had even tonight, to be honest. But just bring it back to what you said then, mate. I do feel like we haven't got quality. I don't feel like we've got Premier League quality players in abundance. But I feel like the way we play, like when you say we don't really get drawn into the nitty-gritty of the Championship, I feel like sometimes when I watch us, whether we tear them a new one or if it's nip and tuck, I do feel like sometimes I watch Leeds at this level and it feels like a Prem team against the Championship side. And I think that's just the style. I feel like Farker plays with a Premiership style, and it's up to the board to give him the Premiership players. We've got some Premiership potential players there. Definitely got players who can play at that level. Whether they can go up and hit the ground running is a different thing. But do you agree with that? The way I just feel like stylistically, when I watch Leeds play against a QPR or some of these sides, I look and think we look like a Prem side. We don't always batter them, no, but just the style, the way you play. So I think the way it set us up in the Prem, quite pragmatic. I don't feel like he doesn't enjoy getting involved in basketball games. You know, the Swansea, the Portsmouth. He does not like them games. They happen from time to time, but I think in the Prem, I don't see, even if the quality is not there, and even if we are struggling, I don't envisage us getting pumped 5, 6, 7s like we've seen in the past, just because of his style. I feel like he's very much defence first and then attack, and I feel like that'll be even more obvious when we go to Premier League. Like, it annoys people now. I think in Premier League there'll be some games where we might not even have a shot on target potentially. Be interested to see how we go. I don't know, but I do think stylistically, some games I do watch us and think we do look a cut above, whether we batter them or not. It just we're not a typical Championship side. I mean, even Burnley and Sheffield United are around us and getting the same amount of points, but they look like a Championship side.
Yeah,
we don't. Stylistically, we don't.
No, we never. I mean, I think it's I can't remember what it's Burnley or Sheffield. No, one of them had a home game recently where the opposition has 60% possession and like 5, 6 more shots. That just doesn't happen to us. And you're right, it's not just about the stats. It's about getting drawn into those games where it's all just rough tumble. It's because we retain the ball so well. And you know what? The stylistic part, we don't, and it's the risk taking. It's what people want. But this Rodon or someone like Snack Boy, look up. Bogle's free on the right hand side. And he could almost have 1-on-1, but we don't pass to him because if he loses it, he's the only one over there. So we don't, it's always about thinking about the transition. Where's the risk? So every pass is risk reward, and we always err. If there's any risk involved or too much risk involved, we'll try and keep an area where we've got more players. But then ultimately, the opposition's got more players. So it's like the goals against Preston. It's just like suddenly a breakaway. Slightly too many players forward. It's you're right. Stylistically, it's always about the attacking. It's always about the defence. It's always about the risk. Always. That's why it's like. But of course, you look at a two centre backs fine, 2 DMs, and they are 2 DMs, even when it's Rothwell, because they even get within 10 yards of the box. They're not supposed to, not allowed, and they're always sitting there at second balls. And do you know what? Tanaka's actually taken it onto himself a little bit. He did it away at Hull, and he did today where he starts. He was started doing 1-2s. He was getting the box a little bit today. So he might have said, I'm going to go 5 yards further forwards, and it's so it's that, and that's the difference. As say you have an extra player attack, extra player to mark, someone else makes a run, they're free, and that's a massive difference. And I think we could do that a little bit more in the Championship against less teams. But in general, absolutely, we don't get drawn into those back and forths, the pulling, the fight. We don't have these shoving matches. We don't get involved in any of it. I'm not saying they push us and we wimp out. It just doesn't happen because the 50-50s don't even happen.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, mate. Getting to a comment here. Harrogate fans were great, by the way. They looked at it on TV, mate, to be fair.
Yeah, brilliant.
It really did make fair play. I mean, it's definitely true that a few of them, or maybe all of them, to be fair, will potentially follow Leeds. I was sat a few weeks ago in the East Upper, and I was sat next to a lovely gentleman, and I think he said he was late 70s, and he was sat with his Leeds coat buttoned up, and with his Harrogate hat on, and this will be Fort Draw, to be fair. So I can only imagine. See, I sit in different seats every time I go, like I say, so I'll probably never bump into him again. Unfortunately, we're a lovely man, but I thought he must have been made up with that tonight, to see. Probably been a bit torn either way to win, to be fair, because he's a season ticket holder for both games, for both sides, and he goes to Leeds if they clash. But I thought, bless him, he'll have been buzzing with that tonight, and to see it so tight, fair play for Harrogate.
It's amazing. The draw's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, that is the proper magic of FA Cup. I'm so glad they're showing it on TV as well. That's a proper pick. That is not just they pick loads of 2. Every game's got like multiple Prem teams in or whatever. We see pretty dead anyway, but they actually picked the right games. It felt like. Well, I was saying that Man City. Was on, but I suppose they're playing Salford. They were 8-0, was it? So ridiculous.
8-0, It was one of those romantic fixtures, wasn't it? And they made a 20-mile journey across Leeds to get to Elland Road, and it was just a fairy tale sort of moment for him. The biggest game of probably all the careers. The manager will probably never, I love that as well. I think he's been in charge of him for like 15 years. It's a great story. Just imagine, I mean, they haven't been able to train very well for frozen pitches. It's been a calamity week for them, and the Elland Road, and whether it's, it probably is our drop off, to be fair. And they're still in the game going into injury time. Fair play to them. And what I will say is they were very well organised, mate. I mean,
absolutely.
We don't like, it's anti-football, it is, but what else were they supposed to do? They go toe-to-toe with us, it would have been a cricket score. But just to touch on Harrogate, I was really, really pleased to see how they're set up and really made it hard for us. I did think the quality had shown, and it won a bit of quality in the end that got the goal. I thought the floodgates had opened because they were coming at us a little bit in that second half, but fair play to them. What a great effort that was, pal. They did themselves, justice really there, didn't they? Really fair play.
They did. I mean, what are they like? 20th in League Two as well, or whatever it is.
70 places between us, I think, in total.
Yeah, they're not. They're not doing well in the league. Turn up there and the setup. And you say, and I mean, half of their players are Leeds fans. Apparently, their captain watches the Leeds games and always shouting at the TV and stuff, whatever else on the way back from their matches if we're on later. So like it's and they, you're absolutely right. We sat and said, oh, we did this, we did that, and it's all about us. There is an opposition always, and actually they defended a lot better than say Plymouth or those sorts of teams.
Yeah, they did. Sean, Stevie says here, Sean, I would remove him now. Wurzel Gummidge could do better. The players are carrying him, not the other way. Farker's a clown. Love that, man.
Great reference, that Wurzel Gummidge.
Please stick a like on the video and subscribe if you're new in here as well, please. And yeah, it's first time I've had Adam on a proper show, I suppose. This year we're on the subscriber show midweek, and he's been great value, and we'll definitely have him on again if he'll have us. But yeah, please stick a like on, show you've enjoyed this video, and please subscribe. Still some comments to get through. I couldn't give a shit about happy clapping people. Farker's not up to the job. I love it. I'm going through and there's really loads of positive comments, and Stevie pops up with a belter all the time. I love where you speak, mate. It's just you're my cup of tea. But
I laugh, right? It's funny because it's so like, but actually, you say he's just impassioned. It's what he, and you say home and away. He can say whatever he wants. His money goes into it. He follows it. He supports them.
Of course he can. It's you interpret it, different ways, and it riles some people up, doesn't it? Like I just seen a comment there. Tom says, "Easy peasy, we're top of the table for fuck's sake. What more would you want? Run on the pitch and score 3 goals when we're losing." Yeah, it's one of them. Like I say, I'll always agree with that, Tom. What more can you want? But I'm sure he'll say he wants exciting football. He wants to be 6, 7, 8 points clear, and he wants to stuff a League Two side 5-0. And to be fair, he's well within his rights to say that. And there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. It's just not many people say it. I'm definitely one of them who won't say it because I'm quite happy as it is at the minute. But there's definitely it's loads of small issues that mount up, and I can see his frustration. But you've just got to look at the table. You just got to look at it next round. And I mean, when we got dumped out of FA Cup by Histon and Crawley, boom, we've struggled in so many seasons where we're 14th, 15th in league and we dumped out of FA Cup and League Cup in first rounds, and it's just an horrible place to be, and we're not there no more. So, I know how easy it can switch, from Champions League nights to League One. So I sort of want to try and enjoy the journey. Under Bielsa, I was that stressed about it. I probably didn't enjoy it nowhere near as I should have done. And you blink and it's done. I'm really trying to bask in it. Like I say, even at Wembley, I always said it was never my dream to watch Leeds win at Wembley. It was just my dream to actually watch Leeds at Wembley. I've never thought I'd have the opportunity, and to go watch them, soak it up, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like I said the other night, it was massive. So it's one of them where I'm just enjoying it. Whether I come out of Elland Road and it's been a tough game or not, 9 times out of 10, it's a win. It's a positive result, and I can go to work smiling. So I sort of see it from a different opinion, and I do spend my money, and I'm so invested with my channel, my family, all my kids. Like I asked my son today, what does Daddy love more than anything in the world? He went Leeds United, and I had to correct him and say, no. Outside my family, yeah, but I love you and me, your brother and your sister, and I love your mummy more than that. I don't know you don't, Dad. They love Leeds, and I thought it's just typical, It looks bad because it just came out of him because he knows how passionate I am, and it's who I am. But I'll always look for the positives, even if there isn't many. But right now, there's plenty still to be positive about, and apart from the odd game. Having this channel, it's all been positive because it's only been, an upward trajectory since I started this channel, end of September. We started off slow, and you've just seen us grow now. We're only going one way for me, and that's up. So yeah, there'll be games where it's frustrating, but ultimately we're going to get where we need to be, I think, and then we'll assess next season.
Do you know why your channel's great? Like, it's just because you're such a likable, honest. You come across so honest, and that's why people. That's why I enjoy watching you. It's just such an honest. It's just honest opinions. There's no BS behind any of it. There's no hiding it. And that's what works really well, I think.
I'm too dumb for that, Adam. I'm too dumb. Everything goes on my head. I can't help it.
That's not true either, is it? Anyway.
Yeah, that's a bit of BS there, then. Yeah.
To be honest, there you go. Yeah, I went to the only playoff final I've ever been to for Leeds. I went to Cardiff and watched us against Watford, where we lost
Oof.
Was it 3-0 or 2-0?
Yeah,
I
I
can't
think
remember who it
3-0.
was. And
Yeah.
I'm never going to another final of league. I remember us losing the League Cup against Aston Villa. I cried my little eyes out then. So I'm just like, yeah. I mean, all of our trepidation. We can all moan. We can, like, no matter what, it all comes from fear. Like winning one game of 8 at the end of last season, and we're seeing, and you see any chink of that maybe appearing again. That sequence, you
Yeah.
draw 2 in a row. You're like, oh no,
Yeah.
because it all fell apart. It was Ampadu was there, Stratford Ampadu was there, Fark was there. Well, who's going to stop them? There's no one to stop it. So it's really, I mean, still finished third, obviously, but it's all from fear. We like in terms of which can't. I just don't want to do the championship again. When we got up last time, I was like really enjoying it, and people say, "Oh, you're looking for the Prem." I said, "It's going to be really hard." Yeah, but just the fact we haven't got to win every single game. I will enjoy games more because we haven't got to win every game. We're
Yeah,
all going to
that's fair.
separate a season. It's not
Yeah.
half hour in, I'm doing my nut because we haven't scored yet against
Yeah.
whoever. It's all trepidation. It's all like, you've got to win this one. What is Sheffield United doing? What are Burnley doing? Doesn't like, it's just, we can settle into it and actually, we haven't got to win how many games. You just got to be half decent rather than exceptional every week.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. Let's check this here. Easy. Matty, their payout today will keep them alive for a couple of years. Yeah, it'll be a massive payout for them today, won't it? Let me just start a few comments. Get down these. Been flying in tonight. Absolutely flying in. Chris says this is the biggest test of Farker situation with Mez. If he doubles down on him and Mez drops one again, it looks weak on Farker. 100%, I agree. Easy. Hey, up, mate. Hope you're all right. I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. Darlow is not good enough to be our number one. He's League One keeper, in my opinion. And you are entitled to your opinion, mate. I say the whole time. I think it's harsh, League One. I do. I know. Playing for Wales isn't the I don't know the best quality in terms of international football. I do get that, but he's an international goalkeeper. What do you think to that, Adam? Is it a bit wild to say League One? I think it's better than that.
I just think ultimately, I think he's better than that, of course. But ultimately, I said we're not going to ask a lot of him. We're just asking him not to chuck it to the opposition or into our own net or whatever it may be. Like, we're not asking a lot. So
I agree. Chris says if Mez starts next game, he's going to have to deal with the ironic beers from fans or jeers from fans when he doesn't do anything right. It's not a good situation for him to be in. And could lead to panic stations. Yeah, I agree. I just feel like it's a little bit too soon. If he sees him as his number one, that's fine. But let's give Darlow a few more weeks to either play himself into number one role or prove Farker right and maybe let us all see that Melee is the way forward. Maybe that's what he has to do, but I feel like it's still a bit soon, a bit raw. Maybe in 3 or 4 weeks' time, it's maybe not. Easy. Again, he can't be Wales number one and be a League One keeper. Yeah, I get that. Easy peasy. Are you at the game next week, Matty? Would like to shake your hand in the Peacock. I am, mate. I will be in the Peacock probably an hour before the game with my mate Priestley. So yeah, I'm 6'2.5", so you can't miss me. 6'2.5", 18 stone. I'm very loud. Always got a smile on my face. So yeah, come and say hi. I'll 100%.
And don't forget, Stevie, when you see him, Matt is a massive Farkin, so you can have that debate with him in person as well.
Yeah, man, too right. He's Farkin. He's not Fark. Fuck off. Honestly, that creased me when he said that last week. That creased me. What a guy. Tom says, how can you say he's shite in the Prem when he was with Norwich and wasn't backed? It's a different story. We are Leeds. I think Fark will get us mid-table. I mean, I can't disagree, mate. I don't think he'll be shite in the Prem. I think all people keep speaking about the narrative because that's all they've got to go off. The fact they struggled in Prem, who got relegated, kept his job because they knew he'd take him straight back up, and then he got sacked. I think he were 11 games into that season, because it looked like it was going the same, which it did in the end. I don't know about mid-table, but I definitely think he can stabilise us in Premier League. I think that's probably his ceiling. That maybe 13 to 17, somewhere in that sweet spot. I think we'd all take that now. But ultimately, that'll be a very disgruntled fan base if we are finishing 16th, 17th, because it means we've lost most weeks. But I would take 17th now. And do I think he's good enough to keep us up next season? I do, as long as he's backed. Like I say, I think his football, his philosophy suits the Premier League. I genuinely believe that. You just need to give him the quality to allow him to stay up. But a lot of people will always say he isn't good enough. I am one of them. I do believe there's a possibility that he could get sacked early on. I don't think you're being wrong to say that could happen. 100% it could happen. Do you expect Leeds to go up and absolutely romp it? No. Do I expect it to be tough? Yeah. And at best, you're still losing most weeks, but you get to that magical 40 and maybe stay up by a few places, and then you build, and then there's a conversation to be had. Can he take you beyond? Can he break you into that top 10? I tell you what, you need a worldie at minutes to break that top 10, because it's a very, very difficult place to be. And this season it looks a little bit easier, doesn't it? With your Forest in there, and you got some sides, but that's because you've got a lot of top sides struggling. You haven't even got Tottenham and Scum in top 10 at minute. It's a bit of a weird one, this one. It reminds me a little bit of Leicester title race. I know Liverpool will run away with it this year, I think, and win it, but it's a lot of big clubs up there struggling this season. But in general, to get anywhere higher with Farke than, I think, 13th, 14th is probably a push. But I do like him. I hope they back him, because it's probably his last crack at Prem for me. I think he's always going to be a top Championship manager. Would you agree with that, Adam? This is probably his best opportunity to manage in Prem ever again.
Definitely. And when the chaps there, you actually say he's shutting Prem, well, because he was. But absolutely, there is some context to it, of course, that you say, like, he didn't know 2-3 million of what they spent on the top player or whatever at that time is, and he will be backed more. He's as I said earlier, he's seen off Greta, he's seen off Jordan Miles, the other guy. Because there was some real unrest during the transfer window. Like, he was really upset after the summer transfer window. I think there's a lot, and he's obviously got a lot of power and of course the manager signs off transfers, so he'll have a lot of power in the summer as well. So there's got to be a point where you've got to back him. If you back him in the summer, you back him and spend X and whatever it is, getting the right amount of players, then you've got to back him for certain. You've got to give him a certain amount of games as well, because otherwise, you're not building towards anything. As soon as you see these clubs come, all these teams get a manager for 18 months. It's just Leeds United all over again. Because you're not. There's no in the Premier League. I mean, you can't. Forest did it. They keep changing. They kept changing their keeper. They kept changing their manager. They kept going until they found something that worked. Players. But I don't. In general, that doesn't work. You've got to find a style. You've got to stick with it. You've got to back a manager. You've got to find the right players. The players for that style as well. And that's where Leeds failed last time, because going from Bielsa to Marsh and not backing Bielsa at all. But yeah, I think Farke will be back in the summer, and I think then ultimately he will get a decent amount of games, because we can't do it any other way. But that decent amount of games might only be 12, and they will have several managers lined up. They will speak to other people, because that's exactly the right thing to do. They'll have to.
100%. I agree with that. I think 12 might be a bit too many as well, to be honest. I think it'll be less than that. But yeah, I mean, we all want him to. Well, we all hope he gets to end the next season still in charge of Leeds United, because if he is, guess what? It means we're doing well and we're staying up, doesn't it? So ultimately, that's what we want, pal.
100 the pressure's off. This tippy passing, defensive, whatever. You got to win 8 games. Win 8 games, you can stay. You can go again. It's fine. We'll build, because you've got to build. Transfer windows are massive. It's summer in particular. Keep building it. So if he can do anything, if he can just stabilise, absolutely brilliant. He's a likeable enough guy. Keep it going.
Yeah, 100%. Like you say, you need to get through some windows. That's why building, I feel like that's how you've seen with us being in Prem for 3 years. You've sort of seen that quality still there as we've gone down. We had enough quality in depth even last season that we lost some big players when we came down the first season. And he's had 2 rebuilds as well. That's what a lot of people don't think of with Farke. He's been here a season and a half and he's had 2 rebuilds. He lost that first summer. He took control of a side that didn't know where we were going. Lost a lot of players who, don't get me wrong, we didn't want at this club. But he had to go out there and build a squad capable of actually winning promotion, which when you look at the sides that were available, in our league last season, it was crazy, really, to even suggest he did poor that we didn't go, because it was a rebuild. Nobody else had to do what he did that summer. The Gnonto situation, so many players leaving. He got us 90 points, which would normally get you up. He got us to win 90 minutes of going up at Wembley. Almost did it with such a turgid summer window, really. And then this season, he's had to do very similar again. Losing your 3 big stars. And look at us, I'd say we're a cut above. Maybe not even in terms of points, but I feel like he's got us a really good squad built again. And I feel like that goes unnoticed with a lot of fans of what he's actually done there. He's got his head down. That side there, this season especially, you don't hear of any unrest, and there's a lot of players not getting minutes because of where Farke is as a manager. He trusts his bench more this year than he did last year. That's fair to say. But there's still players who aren't getting minutes. You've seen, like I say, we don't need to talk about Schmidt and Guilavogui and that, but there seems to be a really good camaraderie between the lads. And at the end of the day, it starts at the top. It starts at the board. It goes that Farke and Farke to the players, and there seems to be, a really good synergy there between all levels of the club. The backroom staff. They always talk about, even the cooks in the kitchen, don't they? That everybody's, and I'm sure every club does, but they make a real point to Leeds United of letting us know that everybody's on board with where we're going. And a lot of that comes from Farker, mate, and I don't feel like he gets a lot of credit for that. And that's something I always look at and go, he's had some really tough moments at Leeds United, and he's come through them, and he's built a side capable of giving us wins week after week after week.
It's, you know what, like you say about the cooks and the people who work. I think Leeds. So you know, one city club. No, the other one club city. Everywhere it is. But they're huge. It's massive. But absolutely, but it feels like a really smaller club as well in terms of everyone knows each other and things, and everyone backs each other, and it's all like you go. You know, I'm down the road. I'm 20 minutes from Arsenal. I'm 10 minutes from Spurs training ground. I'm 15 minutes train from. I'm half hour from Watford. No, fans around me. No other clubs. I don't feel like, and I watch content from other teams and stuff. No other clubs talk about it like we do. No other clubs is so passionate. It's different. Leeds is a different place. It's a different club. It's completely different. It's a lifestyle. It's everything. You know. I think people that, like, you know, everyone who works advising that, but Fark actually does seem to get. I know he's a bit lip service sometimes. It feels like, but he does seem to get it. And I think that's really important. And I think other clubs lose that really quickly. Like, you know, Spurs, the Arsenal staying in Spurs, it all becomes about that. You know, nice hotels and the training grounds, whatever. Like you know, gates for the training ground, all that sort of stuff. It's just. But I think Leeds is so different. I think Fark gets, and I think that's really important. You say. I mean, ultimately, we're in a 4-horse race now. You say about other clubs buying people. In the Championship, everyone's going to lose games still. Everyone. It's all about us. Because no matter who they buy, to a point, Beres and Diaz, yeah, okay. I mean, he's going to win them a few more points. But everyone's going to lose games. Everyone. So it's still all about us. And the opportunity is still there with this window. And it's still the opportunity with our team, our players, and Fark's experience. So it's all in our hands still. We're still top.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. Like I say, you can't please everyone, can you? Farker struggles with Championship sides, even though he's got the best team. Suicidal to give him in the Prem. Yeah, I know you stick to that.
Everyone struggles with. Sorry. Everyone struggles in the Championship. Everyone, now and then, everyone struggles. And we've discussed the way he plays. I think he's a bit defensive. We agree on that. Yeah, but that means we're never going to run away with games. We're always, you know, even that streak of 13, 12, whatever it's last season, we win a lot of 1s, 2-1s, 2-0s, wherever it was. We never beat anyone 3 or 4-0 in that run at all. It's just not the way Fark says. Like, we're always going to struggle because it's the Championship. So Blackburn, he's just, you know, playing them. We didn't look like going to beat them at all. Even 90 minutes in, we scored. We thought, we went, oh, okay, that's good. And then, yeah, they scored. Of course they scored. They're always going to score.
No, I agree. I love it, mate. I love back and forth as well. I love that we have different people in there with different opinions. I love it. I'd hate it if all I did was come on here and everyone just agreed with me. I'd hate it because I waffle on that much sometimes. You know, I feel like someone's going to pop up and say, "Matty, stop talking shite," which I'd love as well, to be fair. But,
no, I love it. I love it when you do your hour and a half by yourself, just chatting. It makes great content, just chatting to the comments. And actually, it's where, I mean, just what I wasn't commenting. I was just watching it the other day. Just while you're watching my wife, I was just sitting there, just the headphones on in bed, watching you chat away with people. It's brilliant.
I find it wild, Adam. Honestly, I find it wild that there's actually like people out here that want to. I thought I were only person in the world that sits there and watches other people in the bedroom talk about other Leeds United. Like our last fat used to find it mental. She'd be like, "You're watching another one. You're watching another. How many of them do you follow?" I'm like, "I watch." Honestly,
exactly the same.
She finds it so weird, and now I'm doing it. She finds it even stranger. But she can't believe it. She just can't believe that it's people who are interested. But you know what it is? Some people as well. Like I think you said overnight. Some people, you know, can't get to games. Some with worldwide people can't get to Elland Road. Some people haven't even got friends who are Leeds United fans. So it gives, you know, obviously not just me, but the YouTube scene in general, which is massive for Leeds United, is quality. It gives everyone, you know, so there's always somebody you can relate to. You know, all different people. You know, genders, faiths, you know, lifestyle. Everyone's got a different opinion or a different lifestyle, but you know, there's always somebody you can relate to. Like I massively relate to Joe. He's a passionate guy. He speaks his mind. He's got family. Like me, he's got a son with autism. So have I. I really connected with Joe early on, and I've watched all his videos religiously for 3 years. There's always somebody, because there's that many of us you can relate to, and I think it's a brilliant thing. You know, I was struggling a few years ago, wasn't going out much, struggling with mental health, cast aside all my friends and were really, really struggling. And like I've come a long way in the last couple of years, but this has really probably got me back to, it probably surpassed the best version of myself. And now it's like I've got friends who, You know, I never thought I'd have one speaking to on the regular. Like, hopefully you're now a friend and we'll speak regular. And the people in the chat, same names are coming back, which is boosting my confidence because it means they're enjoying what they're seeing and what they're hearing. And these are all becoming friends. And I get a bit deep sometimes, as you know, but honestly, it's been the best thing I've ever done in my life. You know, I absolutely fucking love it, Adam. I can't even tell you. I love it, mate. Absolutely love it.
I don't go to games because I've got no one to go to games with. Like, so honestly, I can get trained up to Leeds in 2 hours. You know, like I honestly don't go. Yeah, I come to about 5 games a season. I've dragged the missus along, and we go that 5 a season. But I've come to loads more if I just had people to go up there with. But of course, as I live in Hertfordshire, so I was just like everyone supports other clubs around me. I can't chat Leeds coming on here because for me, I'm really bad at communicating over text. So I just don't get. I don't think I get. I'm really bad at spelling, so I just rush through text, and I don't think I'm a voice. So actually coming on chatting and stuff. Yes, yeah, you're right.
I've started doing
it. So this is fantastic. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing community. So there's so many different content people you can follow on here. It's really good for Leeds.
Yeah, there really is, mate. There's so many. Like,
they're so different. They're so different.
Yeah, there is. Like, I'll ask it to me, why, you know, are you going to be able to make a din? Are you going to be able to be heard? And my first video, what is the room for another Leeds content creator? And since I started, there's been about another 10 people start since me.
Yeah.
There's a room for, you know, there's room for anyone to have a voice. And I always said I weren't bothered if I had, you know, a couple of people on here. Just it's sort of my place to sort of channel it and vent. And I have got loads of Leeds fans as friends, but it's still, you know, none of them want to waffle on for an hour and a half like me most nights, mate. So it's nice I can come and do it. And yeah, it is what it is. But I know it's gone an hour and a half, which you probably weren't expecting. So I'll just try and get through these last few comments, man.
Oh no, I was expecting that 2 hours last 2 on it.
You'll have been expecting it. What you'll say to Mrs. Matt, he'll be on all night.
I mean, it could be 20 minutes, but we'll throw Chanter away for. I'll see you tomorrow, basically.
Yeah, thanks for that, Stevie. Matt, you're going places. Thank you so much, Stevie, for that, mate. And yeah, find me next week and I will shake your hand, mate, 100%. You haven't been in yet, Mark. I'm clean. Try and get through these last ones. Personally, I just think we are so worried about not getting promotion this season that any slight error, yeah, 100%. It's the fear. The fear is really, you know, we saw it last season, and we know how important it is this. It's more important this season, obviously, than it probably was last season. We always sort of felt, you know, when we had that massive gap to claw back, we didn't really think we were going to go up for long periods of last season, did we? Let's be fair. We always sort of. There were a moment of time when we got back to the top for a week or so, but we always sort of looked at him for the playoffs, and we always thought playoffs we won't go up. So there were a long period of time last season, mate, where we probably didn't think we were going to go up until we had it, and then we dropped it ourselves. Fair enough. Whereas this season it'd be the other way around. You know, we look likely to go up, and it'd be the worst thing ever to let it slip now. You know, so that worry and the fear is definitely why a lot of fans would want a change and are quite negative, and it's so understandable because it's so fragile. And the fact that we think we're the best side, we've got the best players and all that, and it's so close still, that I can totally understand. Like, you know, your Stevies and your Easies of this world, totally get it. They've been there, they've seen it, they've been, you know, spent more money, been alive longer than me, been to Leeds games a lot more times than I have. Totally get it. But yeah, definitely the fear is a big thing in it, mate. A minute.
Fear feeds emotion, doesn't it, and everything. So like, and we're all worried that we just can't keep doing this. We want to go up. Like you got to aspire. So somebody said, "Oh, Championship, great." You know, I wouldn't mind saying that. You've got to aspire to something, haven't you? You've got to aspire. And actually, I love the Premier League because we didn't have to win every game. So, and the fear of staying down again, like it's not like we want Fark to fail, but like we know it's not going to be here if we don't go up. We want to be a success because we care about Leeds United first and foremost. And anything we see that he's not doing the obvious, or he's not doing the way we would think it should be done, and we might be wrong half the time, we moan about it. That's just the way it is, isn't it? We've all got opinions. It's football. Yeah. We've all played football. We all love football. So.
Yeah, so true, pal. Too true. Tom, Matt, your channel was in front to where his pal. Trust the process, bro. Yeah, thank you, mate. Wayne says Adam is a great guest, absolute superb guest. I think we need another Leeds YouTube channel slotting in somewhere, don't we, mate?
My wife would not allow that, even if no chance.
Matty, I love all your streams. You're always respectful of the other opinions and don't put people down when someone disagrees with you. You're great at what you do. Like, thanks, Sean. Yeah, and you know what it is, Sean? You like to stir spoon a little bit, don't you, and say you Fark out when you're not Fark out, but you definitely highlight his faults. And you know what it is? I'm level-headed enough to take someone else's opinion on board and I can see truth and I can see merit to what they're saying, and I'm big enough to just say I disagree, mate. I won't agree with your opinion just to appease someone, but I can definitely still stick with my opinion while still admiring yours and respecting yours. And I just try and be that way. And like I say, Sean, me and you are good friends now, and you've probably a lot of time you go against what I say in terms of when it comes to Farker anyway. We do disagree on the Farker issue, and you come on every stream and we speak throughout the week. So that goes to show you that you don't have to be, agree on everything and still be friendly and respectful and still see someone else's point of view. So that's what I try and do on here, mate. I'm just myself, is what it is. I need more Leeds fans, mates in Wales. Yeah, mate. I aren't Welsh, mate, but you're always welcome on here. We'll have a good old chat. Fuck, Joe blocked me. I ain't getting into that. We are not convinced enough. No, Stevie Leeds, Sean laughing face. Get through his last few ones, mate, because it has gone on so long now. Great stuff, Adam. You spoke so well.
Cheers, Sean. Thank you.
Sanity and balance of this channel is unsettling to me. Yeah, no, I know, mate. I get that quite a lot. Me too, fuck out. Right, we're going to wrap it up at that. I tell you what, mate, I get anxiety attacks me. Like I'm sat here like shaking because chat's popping off. It's so difficult because I used to love having people on, and then as you've probably seen on channel last week or so, last few weeks, I've really enjoyed being on my own because I can bring every single chat up, and the feedback I get that's brilliant. But when you come on overnight, I thought I've got to get Adam on. It makes good content having someone to bounce off of, because I sort of thought this game would be a little bit a tad boring, a 3 or 4-0 wash, and I thought, get Adam on, let's have something to bounce it off of. But then I see chat popping off, and I'm like, I know. As I am as a person, I get right worked up, and I'm like, it's so difficult because you talk so well. The chat, I want to try and pull everyone up as well, but
I couldn't do it.
So long, Adam. That's why it's gone on so long.
No, mate, I'm just getting started another hour and a half. It's that's why. Exactly. I couldn't do what you've done there. Try and listen to me channeling on, read the messages, respond to the messages. I'm then going off on a tangent. Like it's no, you do a really good job, mate, because you actually seem interested in what I had to say as well. Like, because actually try to read the message and think, that's very good. Really good.
Thanks, Adam, mate. Legend. Right then, chat. Honestly, great numbers again tonight. I've had 40, 50 people in pretty much for a full hour and a half, which is crazy. Thanks so much for all your support. It's been brilliant. I'm glad you've all enjoyed having Adam on as well. We'll definitely have him on again. It's what it's all about. I want to keep, my channel. I'm a man of the people. Come on. I want to do a subscriber show every couple of weeks. Try and get, people on who want to discuss the games and discuss what's on the mind, because football's for everybody. And I want my channel to at least, have that so people can come on and vent on here if they want, like Stevie did, like you did yourself, Adam, and it gives everyone a voice, which is ideal. So thanks so much for being here. Have a great Sunday. Tomorrow night, I don't know what time yet, but keep your eyes peeled. Please stick the notification bell on. It's the final pint on my channel tomorrow with the Only Leeds Bros. We do it every week, alternate on each channels after every game, the day after. So it's going to be maybe 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow, but please come and check that out. So please like, subscribe, and please turn your notification bell on, and I'll see you tomorrow night for the final pint. Thank you so much. You stay on, Adam, for a minute, and I'll speak to you in lobby. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Enjoy your Sunday. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.